That
Hi,
was a
Iyin.
great conversation.
Nice to meet
Hi.
you.
How are you doing?
How are you
Nice
doing?
to finally meet you. Very well. Very well.
Yes,
And
yes,
your reputation precedes. Thank you.
I
Thank you
am,
for
yeah,
making.
I'm so looking forward to hearing your views on the impact of this global problem that we're all
Opportunity.
facing,
Double opportunity.
um, the opportunity, the innovation, being an entrepreneur, being an innovator, being an expert where the technology lies. I'm sure you've got great thoughts. Um,
Yeah, I
really,
mean,
really great thoughts about all this. And I'd really like to hear how are we going to adapt? What do you have for us as the techies, the guys that are in there that have been looking at solutions that we could use going forward?
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to put on my headphones because Jonathan just said he couldn't hear me. So I'm just going to put them on. I should have earlier, actually. I have them right here.
Okay.
But I'm just going to put on my
Yeah, we're all
headphones so you
getting
can
used
all
to
hear
this.
me better.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm so excited to share with you whatever I know and also to learn from you because I'm someone who's trying to innovate my way into the job you were previously doing as somebody who leads cities. So I'm right now in Calabar. I'm trying to build a city here, which is an odd place to build a city. But I would love to learn, I hope, on this conversation as well, your experiences in Kampala. And if you were going to build a new city, what would you be thinking about based on your experiences out in Kampala? So super excited for this conversation. I don't know, maybe you have a question to start me off with, or should I ask you a question? I don't know, how do we make this happen? I have a question for
Uh,
you. We can start there, or you can start with a question for me.
I think I'll start with a question to you, E.
Okay.
Really learning about you, you're very inspiring as a young person.
Yeah.
And as we all say, the future really belongs to you young people. So we'd like to hear what your thoughts are, what are your thoughts, what are you coming up with, not just in the area of entrepreneurship, but also in the area of technology. How do you plug into this crisis? What do you bring as that side of super innovation and your
Yeah.
experience across the globe in different economies, you experience in Africa, but also where you are now? What are
Yeah.
your thoughts? How can we prepare?
The way I see it, it's like
Mhm.
Africa, particularly because of this crisis, stands at the precipice of something amazing, potentially amazing. We may get there, we may not get there, but it's potentially amazing. I hope we get there. And my mindset has been since the crisis began, and even before it, I spent the last 10 years in technology. First, I worked in the talent space, trying to build the engineering leaders of the future. Then I went into the for lack of a better word, capital space, trying to help businesses in Africa be connected to the global economy by building a payments business, a global payments business called Flutterwave. But what I realized is that these are fantastic businesses and very incremental steps to getting Africa where it needs to go. But the fundamental challenge in Africa is one of modeling good governance. People in Africa think they know what it means, but the honest truth is very few of us have actually experienced it. Like actually experienced what good governance should look like or looks like. And the magic of charter cities, which is what I'm working on now, alongside a fund that supports innovators, is that you can model good governance, but for what? Like, why is it important for you to model good governance? And that's where Africa has an opportunity, because what is very clear, we're going into a world where the consensus on China as the engine room of the world, the factory of the world, is broken. The consensus we all had, you know, Chinese will always make everything we need. Maybe not, right? And everyone around the world is looking for new partners. New geo alignment is starting to happen as a result of this crisis. And Africa is not hit at all because of the same reasons that we knew from the beginning of the crisis, which is it has a young population of people, of healthy people. And the question now is, in a world where the oil stops and the world is no longer demanding us to be its natural resource mine, you know what I mean? What are we going to do when the world is not demanding the things we need? The agreement, the social contract on which Africa and the rest of the world have related over the last couple decades has always been, you come here, you pick up our minerals, you pick up our food, you go to your country, you refine it, you take most of it, you give us what's left, and we're good. But now the world is like, well, we stopped. We don't need your oil anymore. Keep it. Yeah. We don't need your cocoa anymore. Keep it. We don't need your minerals anymore. Keep it. Now, we all of a sudden have to start making things. And the beautiful thing is, the West has already given us a lot of technology that we can use to start making things for ourselves. A lot of the manufacturing is distributed. A lot of the innovation is distributed. A lot of, like, we can make Facebook if we have to. If tomorrow Zoom said we don't want to serve your country anymore, we can build Zoom. We know the tools to use, WebRTC, this, that. So it's an amazing world, quote unquote, to live in. But it also means that Africa has to rise to the challenge of building for itself. It no longer has to think in terms of allies and development partners and so on and so forth. All of a sudden, it's a dog-eat-dog world that we're now living in. Everybody has their crisis to deal with. And while we obviously hope for global multilateralism and solidarity, technology and innovation offers us our best opportunity to actually grab the tools of development with our two hands and pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. So for me, I think that's what's exciting about what's happening in technology now. At the Fund for Africa's Future, where I work, we're looking for the African innovators that are building a future for Africa by turning our biggest challenges into opportunities. So everything from, in Nigeria, for example, the only private company that does molecular testing was funded by us. This was a company called 54 Gene. And they basically supported all the public hospitals and public testing centers in scaling up testing of COVID-19 cases, right? That was something that, you know, people didn't think was important just 4 or 5 months ago. But because we saw, you know, this would be helpful in the case of crisis like this, or even just designing drugs for Africans, because you'd be shocked to the extent to which it's really hard to find drugs that don't give African side effects, you know? Designing drugs for Africans, we've kind of found this new space. So I'm having the most fun right now. And I'm excited for how much work there is to be done over the next, 10, 20, 100 years. And what our generation, particularly young people, are going to do to build a new Africa simply because they have no choice.
Yeah, that's just so exciting. You know, the potential we see and hearing from the young people like yourselves is very, very inspiring and creates a lot of hope for us as Africans. But I just wanted to ask, knowing the capacity, knowing the strength of innovation, knowing the age of our population, very young, very intelligent young people that are able to create homegrown solutions, whether in technology and other forms of innovation, how would you see, what are your thoughts about how the barriers between African countries, in order to allow this capacity, this innovation to spread and be shared and to grow. The over 1 billion population in Africa is a great market that can be exploited to the benefit of our young entrepreneurs. How do we come together as Africa? How do we break down these boundaries to be able to take advantage of our numbers, our youth, our capacity, even more so as a really growing cities?
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do in that respect. And sadly, the biggest obstacle to that happening is leadership. If you look at the challenges that we've had with things like the Africa Free Trade Agreement, you know, with some of the other things that we've tried to do to bring people together, the reality is it's just leadership that's the only problem. Certain people are stuck in the 80s and the 90s and want to fight and all that. And that's the only issue, because as far as young Africans are concerned, we're coming to the enlightenment that, look, you know, I'm Yoruba, my brother over the border is Yoruba. What does this border exist for again? Like, what exactly was it supposed to do? Because the guy who lives across from me is, you know, the other day I was at the Bakassi border that we share with Cameroon, right? And it's like, they're ethic. The people here are ethic. What is this border supposed to do? I don't understand. You understand what I'm saying? So young Africans are coming to that understanding. I probably listen to as much Kwaito music. In Nigeria, a Ugandan artist is probably one of the best-selling streaming artists of last year with Party After Party, right? Yes. So look, the truth of the matter is we've moved on from these British borders or European borders that people sat down somewhere in 1884 and drew. We don't think they exist. The leadership just has to change to reflect it. And once that happens, you're going to see a lot going on. But in the meantime, while we push that angle, there's work of bringing the continent together. So with the both companies I built, the moment I launched in Lagos, I was launching in Nairobi, I was launching in Uganda, I was launching in South Africa, I was launching in Ghana, I was launching in Egypt immediately, you know? And that was, you know, a lot of my mentors who were traditional Nigerian businessmen are like, there's a big market in Nigeria. I said, no, we're not building a Nigerian company. We're building a Pan-African company. So I need to be in these countries. So even the business thinking has changed. The economics is changing, right? With the music and where music is coming from and going to. And for example, I joined a group last year. There were 92 people all over Africa, came into Kigali and started something called the ATCG, Africa Technology Creative Group. And literally it was like all the biggest creatives, all the biggest technologists from across Africa saying, how do we turn the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement from promise to reality, right? And that's the conversation we're having every week, every day. And we have groups about it and we're pushing agendas about it and having conversations about it. And that's going to get there one day. And I think the last step is going to be, how do we make our cities friendlier to Pan-Africanism, right? It makes no sense that in some countries you can't just arrive on visa on arrival, right? That's changing across the continent. People thought it would be impossible. But today, my African passport gets me more places than it used to just 4 years ago. Another really cool thing that's going on really is, and I'm particularly about this, charter cities are going to come, special economic zones are going to come, and they're primarily going to target people who are looking at Pan-African support and domination and so on and so forth. And you're going to see a lot of foreigners, particularly Africans, take advantage of these places, take advantage of these opportunities to settle and to grow. So it's happening. We just got to wait for a bunch of people to die and everything will be fine.
You're waiting for us to die. I hope not.
No, no, not you, not you. We need you
just,
around, Matt. We need you around. Just the people who
I'm
don't
still
share
around.
these thoughts, you know. Yes, we need you
Yeah,
around to show us the
I
way.
intend to be. I intend to be around. I intend to see and support you young people to really reach that in whatever way I can. We are just about to close our segment. And
Yeah, so let me ask you
if you
some
could have
questions.
any
Yeah.
closing, oh yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, I think one question I have for you for sure is, if you were going to rebuild Kampala, if you had the right, you know, to rebuild Kampala from scratch, what are the top 3 things you would keep in mind as you build it?
Number 1 would be mobility. Mobility, make sure there is efficient mobility in the different aspects. And all the other infrastructure, utility services. Also make sure the public service delivery points are in place and accessible. And of course, affordable, convenient internet connection, which is a must-have if we're going to move forward. So really beginning with laying out a plan that enables mobility of goods and services and people across the city, doing satellite cities to decongest the center, and creating efficiencies in the different areas, and involving and engaging young people in that process, like we did when I was working to build the new structure for Kampala Capital City Authority. Young people were critical in that process and will continue to be critical in the building of whatever processes, whatever organizations going forward.
Awesome.
So
that's
if you maybe have one last comment here, and before we clock out.
Clock out, yeah. Well, I think for me, I think it's an exciting time for Africa. It's an exciting time for Africans' future. And what's amazing is the 2 sets of technology and which has connected us and made several other things possible to be done in networks, are really going to come to the rescue of Africa, because this is where we thrive. We thrive in asymmetric, network-driven, resilient societies. We're not, top down. And so in a world where we have to figure out interests, we're going to be very good at this, especially young Africans, because navigating all these different interests and worlds is kind of how we grew up.
Thank you so much. It has been so wonderful talking to you today. I hope we'll keep the conversation going. Let me know of your breakthroughs as you develop them. I'll be happy to get you involved in whatever way I can. It's very, very exciting.
That would be amazing. I will definitely do that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.